In 2004, massive tsunami waves suddenly crashed onto the shores of Thailand. In an instant, the entire resort was destroyed. Thousands of people went missing. Amidst that horror, a family became separated from one another. The mother was seriously injured, the children were missing, and the father was desperately searching for his family. But the most incredible part is that this is not a fictional story, it actually happened. This family's story begins with a couple named Maria and Henry. They were flying from Japan to Thailand to spend their vacation. With them were their 3 sons, Lucas, Thomas, and Simon. After landing in Thailand, they headed to a beautiful resort. Next to the resort was a vast ocean. Maria, Henry, and their children began having a wonderful time there. Here we learn that Henry works at a private company in Japan. And Maria, although a doctor, is not currently practicing, because she is busy taking care of her children. That night, it was seen that many other people had also arrived at the resort with their families. Everyone was enjoying their time in their own way. That is how their first 2 days at the resort passed. On the second day, Henry was playing with the kids in the swimming pool, and Maria was sitting nearby reading a book. But suddenly, the environment there began to change. The people at the resort slowly noticed that everything around them had become unusually quiet. The birds in the sky seemed to be flying in all directions in unknown panic. It seemed as if they had sensed some terrible danger. Then, the coconut trees on the shore began to fall to the ground one after another. Before anyone could realize what was happening, massive waves rushed in from the sea. In a heartbeat, those waves began to wash away the resort buildings. Maria only had a brief moment to tell Henry something: look after the children. Then, the massive tsunami waves swept away countless people at the resort. Meanwhile, when Maria and Henry's eldest son, Lucas, saw the massive wave approaching, he cleverly jumped into the swimming pool water. But he was not safe even under the water. With the intense current, everything around them began to collapse. They had never seen such a terrifying sight of nature before. All around, there were only screams, desperate attempts to survive, and scenes of destruction. Then, the scene suddenly changes. In the next scene, Maria is seen clinging to a large tree. As far as her eyes can see, there is only water everywhere. Maria starts to cry. Just then, she hears Lucas screaming. Looking around, Maria sees Lucas being swept away by the water in the other direction. Without thinking, Maria jumps into the water to save her son. But the current was so strong that Lucas kept drifting further away. Just when Maria managed to get close to him, another huge wave hit and separated them again. The tsunami just wouldn't stop. Wave after wave kept separating Maria and Lucas, but miraculously, after a while, they found each other again. Little Lucas had never faced such a terrifying situation in his life. Trembling with fear, he told his mother, "Mom, please never leave me." Maria tried to calm him down. Finally, when the sea's fury subsided a bit, Maria and Lucas set off in search of a safe place. The scene all around them was horrific. Scattered here and there were broken cars, debris, and the bodies of humans and animals. In the midst of this, Lucas noticed that his mother Maria's leg was severely cut. Seeing the wound, he became frightened. But Maria calmed him, saying, "I am fine, Lucas, don't be afraid." After walking for a while, they saw a large tree. Lucas and Maria decided to take shelter in the tree so that if another tsunami wave came, they wouldn't be washed away by the water. Just then, they heard the sound of a small child crying. Although Maria wanted to help the child, Lucas did not want to. He told his mother, "We are already in danger. We are the ones who need help. If we try to help someone else, we will be in even more danger." Maria then explained to Lucas, "What if this was your brother Simon or Thomas? Would you still say the same thing? One cannot leave someone behind like this in a crisis. Humans must help other humans in times of danger." Hearing his mother's words, Lucas went to the child. They learned that the child's name was Daniel. Lucas and Maria returned to that large tree with Daniel. Lucas climbed up the tree with Daniel. But Maria's leg was so injured that she couldn't climb the tree herself. Then, Lucas somehow managed to pull his mother up into the tree. After that, we see the terrifying scene of the surroundings. The entire area had turned into ruins due to the tsunami. All around were collapsed houses, scattered debris, and countless dead animals lying here and there. Just then, some villagers arrived and started helping people. Lucas and Maria breathed a sigh of relief seeing the villagers. But Maria's leg injury was so severe that she couldn't even walk properly. So, one of the villagers grabbed her and started to carry her away from there. Later, Maria was taken to a hospital on a makeshift stretcher. The child named Daniel stayed back in that village. Meanwhile, on the way to the hospital, many more people were seen on both sides of the road. They were sitting in a helpless state. Their condition was as miserable as that of Maria and Lucas. Finally, Maria was brought to the hospital. Every corner of the hospital was filled with injured people. The villagers somehow managed to get Maria admitted to the hospital. Maria was writhing in extreme pain at that time. In her agony, she told her son Lucas, "Find some medicine for me." As Maria was a doctor by profession, she knew exactly which medicine she needed, but the problem was that the medicine names were written in the local language. So Lucas couldn't find the medicines at all. In the meantime, a doctor came and started treating Maria. After the treatment, she was shifted to a bed. Maria sees a girl next to her bed. When she asks for the girl's name, the girl gives no answer. Then Maria tells Lucas, "Help the people here as much as you can." Lucas is surprised and says to his mother, "Mom, how can I help others while leaving you in this condition?" Maria then explains to him, "Helping people is our duty, never forget that." Lucas then asks his mother, "You won't go anywhere else, will you?" Maria promises him and says, "Don't worry, I won't go anywhere leaving you." Hearing his mother, Lucas regains some self-confidence. Then he goes outside the hospital and starts helping other people. There, Lucas finds a man named Beston, who was looking for his family members. His family had also gone missing during the tsunami. Lucas writes the names of Beston's family members on a piece of paper and starts searching for them. In this way, he writes down the names of several other missing people. He continues to try to find their family members. After searching for a while, Lucas finds a boy named Martin. He was Beston's son. Beston becomes very happy to get his son back. Then Lucas returns to his mother's bed again. But upon arriving there, he sees that another patient has been kept in his mother's bed. Lucas gets panicked. He looks around and starts shouting for his mother. "Mom, Mom!" Quote. A nurse comes and asks Lucas, "What happened to you?" Lucas tells her, "This was my mother's bed." The nurse then tells him, "Come with me." The nurse takes Lucas to a camp, where there were many other children like him. There, Lucas sees a file. As soon as he opens the file, he sees his mother's picture. Seeing the picture, Lucas gets panicked. He starts to think that perhaps his mother has died. Then the nurse comes and asks Lucas, "Who did you come here with?" Lucas informs her that he came from Thailand with his family. Then he tells the nurse the names of his family members. The nurse now asks, "Do you have any relatives whom we can contact?" "I have a grandpa, but I don't remember his phone number." Then the nurse attaches a sticker to Lucas's shirt and leaves. Lucas looks around and sees that almost all the children there have such stickers on their shirts. Basically, for those children whose parents or relatives could not be found, or those who were presumed to be dead. These stickers were attached to identify them. Seeing all this, Lucas breaks down in tears. He keeps thinking that he might have lost his parents and all his brothers. Maybe none of them are alive anymore. Meanwhile, Henry is seen to be still alive, searching frantically around the resort for his wife Maria and son Lucas. He keeps shouting their names repeatedly. "Lucas! Lucas!" Quote. In the meantime, he finds his two younger sons, Simon and Thomas. But as evening falls, he still finds no trace of his wife Maria and his eldest son, Lucas. Elsewhere, the rescue team arrives at the resort and begins moving the survivors to a safe location. But Henry refuses to leave until he finds his wife and Lucas. He tells Thomas, "You and Simon go with the rescue team to a safe place. I will find your mother and Lucas and then join you." Henry then puts Simon and Thomas on a van. He requests a woman in the van, "Please, keep an eye on my two boys. I will be back very soon to pick them up." With that, Henry heads out again to search for Maria and Lucas. Night falls. Even though it is pitch dark, Henry continues searching for his wife and son. At one point, he gets injured while searching and is taken to a camp. Upon reaching the camp, Henry looks around. He sees countless others there, just like him. Some have lost their family members. Others are still desperately searching for them. Meanwhile, a nurse gives Lucas some belongings. She asks him to identify if any of them belong to his family members. Trembling, Lucas examines the items one by one. But none of them seem familiar to him. Then the nurse takes him to a cabin. There, Lucas finds his mother, Maria, alive. Seeing his mother, Lucas runs toward her. Crying, he hugs her and says, "Mom, you promised me that you wouldn't leave me alone anywhere. I thought you had died." The nurse informs Lucas, Maria has undergone an operation. Her documents were accidentally swapped with someone else's. That is why they mistakenly took Lucas to a different camp. Because they believed that Lucas's family members had likely perished. The nurse further adds that Maria has lost a lot of blood. Once she recovers a bit, she will need another operation on her leg. On the other side, Henry is still searching for his wife and son. At one point, he reaches a place where there are only dead bodies lying all around. There, he spots that same woman, the one with whom he had left his two younger sons, Simon and Thomas. Henry rushes to her and asks, "Where are my boys, Simon and Thomas?" The woman informs him that the children have been taken to a safe place and were moved from the van to another location. Saying this, the woman leaves. Meanwhile, Lucas suddenly spots Daniel, the little boy he had saved after the tsunami. Daniel is with his father and looks quite happy. Lucas feels very happy inside seeing Daniel safe with his father, because he knew that his one small decision had saved Daniel's life. After a while, Maria asks Lucas for some water. Lucas goes outside to get water. Just at that moment, Henry arrives at the hospital, where Maria and Lucas were. The driver of the van Henry was with did not want to wait there for long. But Henry requests him to just wait for 5 minutes. Saying this, Henry quickly enters the hospital and starts searching the rooms one by one for his family members. At one point, Henry reaches Maria's room. But because the curtain was drawn by Maria's bed, he couldn't see her. Meanwhile, the van carrying Simon and Thomas also stops at that hospital. Simon gets off the van to use the restroom. Thomas gets off right after him. Lucas was right there at that moment. But unfortunately, he didn't see his two brothers. On the other hand, a disappointed Henry returns to the van and sits down. Then Simon and Thomas come back to get on the van again. Just then, Lucas shouts out, "Dad, Dad." Simon and Thomas also see Lucas. They immediately run from the van and hug Lucas. The three brothers hug each other and break down in tears. Just then, Lucas sees their father Henry also heading towards them. The three brothers hug their father together this time. Lucas then tells his father, "Dad, Mom is in this hospital." Lucas takes everyone to his mother Maria. Maria becomes extremely happy seeing Henry and the children. However, after a while, Maria gets emotional and tells Henry, "Henry, I realize I might be slowly dying. Please take care of my children." Tears well up in Henry's eyes. He tells Maria, "Nothing will happen to you. And I didn't come here to hear all this from you. I came here to see you get better. We will all go home together again. Don't you worry." Meanwhile, a nurse arrives and prepares to take Maria to the operating room. Before leaving, Maria sees that girl again, whom she had seen by her bed before and who would never say anything. This time the girl tells Maria, "I also have a family. I have saved my strength so that I can see my family at least once." Maria reaches out to take the girl's hand, but before that, the girl is taken to the operating theater. A while later, Maria is also taken in for surgery. Before starting the surgery, the doctor asks her to close her eyes. Maria says slowly, "I'm scared to close my eyes. Will I survive?" The doctor reassures her, saying everything will be alright. "Now just close your eyes." Then Maria slowly closes her eyes. Maria closes her eyes. And then, the terrifying scenes of the tsunami began to flash before her eyes one after another. She saw massive ocean waves destroying everything in the resort. There was nothing but destruction and a stream of bodies all around. At one point, Maria saw herself sinking underwater too. In the next scene, Lucas's father Henry comes to him and says, "Your mother is fine. She has had her surgery. Now we are going home." A while later, Henry and his family are taken to a safe place. There, they meet with people from their insurance company. Since the family had insurance coverage, the insurance company provided them with the necessary assistance. As Maria needed more advanced medical treatment, arrangements were made to send her to Singapore. Then, the insurance company officials tell them all to board the plane. After boarding the plane, Lucas goes to his mother. He then peels off the sticker that was attached to his shirt. This sticker was basically used to identify a child whose family or relatives could not be found. Then the plane begins to fly over Thailand. It flies over the areas devastated by the tsunami. That is how the movie ends. For this reason, The Impossible is not just a survival movie, but an incredible true story of a family's survival. So friends, let me know in the comments how you liked the video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like, and subscribe to this new channel to become a member. Goodbye.